Welcome to the Lazy Bardcast. I'm David Williams, the current dungeon master for the ongoing campaign, and welcome everyone to season 3 of this campaign of Verdan's Blight.
Of Verdan's Blight?
Hey, that's me!
As we travel into a newly forming 10th circle of hell, brought on supposedly by some sort of devouring darkness, we arrive.
My name is Josh Yarnell. I play a halfling bard named Orion Goodbarrel. Orion sort of thought it'd be another 100 or so years before he made his way into hell, but you know, we're here now.
My name's Sean-Luc Jacques. I'm playing Maven the Monolith Smolderbeard, a level 11 Dwarven Tempest Cleric. I figured I'd be here. I just hope I brought enough pirates with me.
I'm Kyle Adele. I'm playing a Verdan Mesmer by the name of Captain Korvac, the Undying Messiah. And I'm arriving to hell, and this is fun.
My name's Kyle Paquin. I'm playing Talgroth, the mountain dwarf paladin with an oath of vengeance. He's level 11, but it's not about how many levels you have. It's about the oath in which you serve.
Being a podiatrist.
Talgraph is a sub. You heard it here first.
Yeah, everybody enjoy your new level 11 abilities. You're gonna need them.
Yeah, one of mine's going to be really hard to pull off, but I got it. One.
Is it regrow Korvac's leg?
That's like level 8, I think.
7.
Is it? Regenerate?
Well, you're level 11, so...
If you like what you hear, be sure to look us up at the Lazy Bardcast, where things are found. For all other things lazy, check out www.lazybardcast.com, where you can find links to our episodes, player backstories, Patreon rewards, and more. Previously
On the Lazy Bardcast.
you all traveled from a keep within Gunderloon, in which you met a black dragon by the name of Visna. You also met a companion, Bragan. You all hopped aboard Visna's back and flew in the direction of the forming storm that you have all been seeing for quite a number of weeks at this point, as you traveled from Waterdeep all the way to Gunderloon aboard your ship. As you were flying on your way to this eye of the hurricane, you encountered some invisible creatures or some sort of angry air.
I hate those things.
You encountered some sort of invisible creatures or elementals swirling around the edge of the storm, which you dispatched. One of them ran away, and then making your way into the center, you saw that the whirlpool the hurricane was creating went all the way to the ocean's floor, to a ruins of an underground city, a Sawajin city, as it was littered with hundreds and hundreds of bodies. An altar in the center of which was coated in blood with a familiar-looking portal over it, this deep purple border, one that you had seen a smaller version of open above Waterdeep. Stepping through the portal, one by one, each of you were met with a concerning scene. Knowing that you were entering into a newly forming circle of hell, you expected heat and fire and devils and the like, but instead you opened into a overgrown grassy field. The stars in the sky are growing darker and darker. The moon is beginning to disappear as darkness is quickly swallowing any vision of land that you have. Looking around, though, you can hear the crunching of trees, the snappings of the limbs far in the distance as something enormous is making its way through a forest, your immediate left. To the right, you can see a small dirt trail. Well, barely see a small dirt trail. Those of you with dark vision can just make it out with what light is left from the stars that leads to a small campfire beneath the canopy of some trees. This is where we pick up tonight, with all of you standing in this field as it is quickly growing darker and darker.
Well, did we all make it? Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, what is this place?
Taking a quick glance around, you do not see Bragan with you, nor Visna, but you knew Visna was not
I
going
gotta say, for hellscape, this is not very hot.
Wait, 1, 2,
Yeah, where's
3,
Bragan?
Who's that?
Did he not make it?
Unless he beat us and is started a
No.
fire over
He
there.
Is
was
he like
behind
one
me.
of those other guys that just turn invisible?
Bragan?
Shh. Did you hear that?
As Talgroth, you point this out, you can hear the booming thunder of what sounds like lightning striking ground, but as you look in that direction, you can see the canopies of trees falling over a good 6 miles out or so, just the canopies of which are illuminated by the light left from the moon. Beyond that, you can see an enormous tree, one that stands thousands and thousands of feet above the others, its branches breaking the top of the clouds. And on the other side of the tree, you can see a small mountain range. Between here and there, you see one small source of light. Well, two. You see a very small source of light, this campfire on the trail. And beyond that, you see what looks like maybe a settlement of sorts. It's hard to make out. It looks like it's probably just torchlit.
How far out is that campfire?
The campfire is about 600 yards out or so.
Jesus. Okay.
And you're standing in the middle of a grassy field. As you're standing here, just taking in your surroundings, you see what looks like a large dog on the very edge of these trees. But as you look at it more closely, you can see something viscous dripping off of a large horn on the tip of its head, as well as two almost scorpion-like tails at its back. As it's just roaming the side of the tree line, you can tell that this thing is stalking. Whether you or something else, you're not sure, but it's low to the ground, moving along the tree line, staying even out of the star and moonlight, which is quickly dissipating at the moment. So that you have an idea, it looks like that.
Oh.
But you see it in the distance. It's probably close to 400 yards out. You imagine it's about 10 feet in length and stands about 6 feet to its shoulders.
Oh my God. Jesus.
What you're all noticing is that the sounds of the insect nightlife, the grasshoppers making their night sounds, the rustling of small creatures in the underbrush, it's loud, but as the darkness is beginning to descend over the grass and the moon is now setting and no sun is coming on the opposite side, as that line is sweeping across, the sounds of all of those insects, creatures, it becomes deathly quiet as it begins making its way across.
I think we should move before that darkness takes over this
I
whole
don't
area.
like the darkness.
Yeah, and I think there's something messed up out there that's just waiting for us to make a move, but he's waiting for
It's
the darkness.
probably to be expected. We're in Hell 2.0.
Yeah, I think we should go like now.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I would say we try to make it to that campfire. In the town looking place, like the actual camp is farther away.
That looks like miles
Gotcha.
out.
I say we try to make it to the campfire.
Either way, let's go.
Yeah, okay.
I start running.
Can I do some light or is that bad?
I think it actually might be
I
good.
can help you with that once we get there. Follow me.
So you guys start booking it?
Yeah.
All right. As you start booking it, Maven, you hear off to the side, as soon as you all start running, you hear like a snarl, and looking back, you can see the creature snaps its head in all your direction and starts bolting as fast as it possibly can go. And this thing starts picking up speed as it's moving about 80 feet a second before it hits the breaking darkness into the moonlight, and it almost like scurries and retreats backwards as you see like its flesh starting to like bubble on the edges just from the dim moonlight, and it starts stalking the edge of the moonlit line, walking in your guys' direction as you're all running towards the fireplace.
Pitch black.
Yeah, kind of. You can see the small campfire. There's a figure sitting in front of. It looks to be a smaller figure, smaller humanoid shape, long goblinoid-like ears, but it has a hood up over its head with large cutouts for these big ears. And it seems to be making something with its hands as you're all running up. You can also make out, all of you, small stones are in a circle around the fire pit, about 10 feet out from the edge of the fire.
I want to grab my glaive as we're running, kind of point it towards this creature and flash yellow at it.
Okay. I need you to make an intelligence save, please.
12.
12 succeeds, so you don't take any damage, but you feel a pulsing in your leg that almost, you feel it trying to push out of the binding that holds your peg leg on and try and push up into your thigh, but you're able to fight it off. And you don't find yourself able to make that connection.
Guys, it's not working.
What are you talking about? Keep running.
It's not.
Wait, your leg?
Do you keep trying it, Corvette?
No, I'm just doing the gesture that it's not. Come on.
So you running full speed probably looks pretty funny, huh?
No.
Be nice, Maven.
But you all start running up to this figure by the campfire. She does not appear to pay any mind to any of you, to your footsteps in any way, shape, or form. She doesn't appear to perk up. Her ears don't move. She's just sitting there, seems to be doing something with her hands. You run up and you get within about 20 feet. You can see these stones about probably a foot tall each. Each have some sort of carving on them. It's really hard to make out in the lighting, but the ones on the opposite side where the firelight is kind of reflecting off of them, you can make out are Korvac. In a split second, you recognize as arcane markings. You can hear kind of a slight humming song as she's just humming and
as I notice
something.
more intently and after the effects that I've received after trying to communicate, I'm going to use control flames to change the color of the flames just to see if it catches its attention.
You cast it. What color do you want the flames to turn?
Like blue, like something really
the
obviously
whole
different.
surrounding area is now lit up with blue light as you cast your spell, and the fire just takes off into this blue formation. The figure stops for a moment. That's new.
I'll approach.
As you pass through the stone barrier, you feel almost like a calming wave, and it's warmer inside.
How does my leg feel?
Good question. As you step inside Korvac, you get to the point where your whole body except for your leg is on the exterior of the circle, and you almost have to like pull it through before that sensation that was pushing up into your leg feels completely gone and receding.
This is quite nice.
The voices are back.
Excuse me.
She turns around. Hello. And you can see she's like embroidering some sort of design. It looks like an infinity symbol turned sideways with an arrow going directly through it.
I'll just step in front of her so see if she'll give me eye contact.
As she's embroidering, she looks up and the visions are getting pretty real.
What visions are you talking about?
You have a sense of humor now.
Yeah, we're not a vision. We're real.
Maven, make a persuasion check.
Pretty good. 19.
19. She looks at you confused for a second. You're not a vision.
No, on the monolith.
You couldn't be one of them. She looks around and you can see that this character resembles Korvac in a lot of ways with the kind of the patchy patterns across her skin, but it's a completely different color. It's very reminiscent of Korvac when you first saw him, but the spots on her and her skin tone is like a dark blue with like bright gray spots.
As in she's younger?
Yes, she's younger.
Korvac,
she's
pre-Ghost Ship.
Pre-Ghost Ship, exactly.
Yes.
Like she's that height, but she definitely appears to be what Korvac has described as a Verdan. Why are you here?
To take care of business.
To take care of business.
Tell her, Ryan.
Talcroft pushes past him to take care of the shield.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I don't think you're going to make it much further outside of this campfire.
Why?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, I've been here for a few weeks. You're sure you're real?
Does the sun ever come up
Yeah,
here?
you want a hug?
Okay. She kind of shrugs and looks at you and opens up her arms kind of haphazardly.
Yes, I'm real. And I tap her back because I give a nice hug. You guys, it's been like a couple weeks since I had a proper hug.
At first, she's pretty awkward to Ryan, but then she like is obviously excited and grabs on tighter. And now looking over your shoulder, making eye contact with you, Korvac.
When that happened,
Yeah.
they hug, and then I picture the cameras like them side by side, and I'm just like weirdly popping out behind them as I'm like staring at this other Verdan that I haven't seen another in a while.
Can I watch her hands as she's hugging him too?
They're slowly sliding down my back, trying to get to my butt.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Careful now.
Well, once it,
23.
23. She appears genuine. She appears very much so in shock, really not expecting this. And as she sees you, Korvac, you see her look at your glaive for a moment, and then this like look of amazement comes across her face, and she lets go of you, Orion, and pushes you back and almost like scoots across the ground before putting her hand into the fire on accident and like stopping. It's you. You've come.
yeah.
I'm San. Have you heard of me? Probably not. Heroes probably don't know much about me.
San,
Sand without the D.
I have known a lot of people in my day, and I must admit San is not one of them. Or Sand.
Well,
with a D.
It's a pleasure. And she reaches out a hand to you, Korvac.
I reach out, and as much as I'm trying to keep my composure, there's a big question mark above my head.
Sam, when's the last time you ate?
Well, insects sometimes come inside the circle too.
I like insects.
They're not that bad.
I'm gonna give her some rations.
Are you sure?
Yeah, have at it.
She grabs it and opens it, and then after the first bite just starts devouring through the rations, obviously pretty starved. We have to get you to the final solace. We have to get you to the rest of the rest of the Verdan. It's the last safe place here.
The rest.
All of them here.
We've never seen any other Verdan besides Korvac, right?
Nope.
Gotcha.
It's been a while since I've seen other Verdan besides Korvac.
Just realized we don't know anything about you.
What are you? I thought you were a goblin.
Goblinoid. I don't do the tongue thing.
Wait, you're a
Verdan.
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 And you,
Verdan.
San, you're a Verdan?
I'm a Verdan.
I'm a halfling.
We know, right? I thought you were an elf.
I've got to say, I've never seen a dwarf before, or two dwarfs, or a halfling.
Well, you're probably pretty impressed, aren't you?
You look very different from every Verdan I've ever seen.
That's right. You hear what you said,
For
Maven?
better or worse.
So, what is all? Did you do this? As I'm pointing to the rocks. This
Well,
circle of
kind of.
protection.
I set them up, but I'm no enchanter.
You set the rocks up, or you set the glyphs up?
I set the rocks up. Before it got this bad, and she motions up to the sky, which now the stars are slowly disappearing. Before it got this bad, I was, scouting, but now I can't make it back on my own. The jackals will get me.
This actually reminds. Orion, come here.
Oh, hey.
I'm gonna pull you down to me, which is not very far.
Up, actually. I'm
Or
shorter.
Up, yes, sorry. Pull you up, and I'm gonna say, "Look at this. Look at this. Switch eyes." And then, as I pull it away, your eyes will glow yellow, and I'll cast dark vision on you.
What? Whoa. You guys see that? There's a tree over there.
That's a lot of trees.
Yeah, a tree.
Look at that. And I'll just point him at the beast that was following us.
And now, as you turn back to look, this beast is circling the campfire.
I'm going to be like a little punk, and I'm going to Sacred Flame him.
As you turn around, okay, you go to Sacred Flame, and you find yourself unable to target outside of this circle.
I'm going to be like, what the hell? And grab a javelin and huck it at him.
Okay, yeah, you huck the javelin, and it collides with an unseen barrier that flashes for a moment around the campfire before dissipating, and your javelin clatters to the ground. They can't get you in here. We can't get them, but
Are those one of those jackals?
that's a jackal. Yeah, they can't hurt you here. Nothing really can.
How long does this light dark cycle go?
Well, it started. I'm not sure. It's hard without the sun, but maybe a month ago, a little bit more, maybe
The night lasts
a month or two. No, that's when the sun. That's the last time we saw the sun.
Let me try this again. Before we got here, there was little twinkles in the sky, right?
They come. Well, that's our new day.
When is the new day start again?
Yeah, when's the moon
The
come
same
back?
typical time. You see, now's the time the sun would be out, but instead we just get darkness. Something's. I'm
You
not
just gotta
sure.
turn the light back on then. Can't you cast that? Don't you do all sun stuff?
Yeah, I can. I need a damn sun pendant to do a lot more, but I could do some of it.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah, actually, I can
Wait,
just...
Mr. Tallgrass, come back!
Go pee.
I can just leave and
Should
walk.
leave that
I can just leave and walk back in, correct? To the.
You can come and
thing?
go as you please, but just know most of the things here, they're infectious.
Oh, okay.
Jackals included. But you're here. She motions back to Korvac again, and you brought friends. That's way more than our prophecy states.
Prophecy?
Yeah, what's the first part of that prophecy?
Well,
I mean, I know it, but please remind me.
Yeah, where is Fred?
A Verdan with the staff will come back and save all of us.
Now, did it have to be a staff, or could it be a glaive also?
Well, it was the staff. It has to be.
Oh, well, that's not him. It must be
I'll just look
someone.
at Korvac
It's clearly me. It's clearly me. Stop.
She motions to Korvac, and that which endures. It's staff. It said that when darkness comes over our plane here, she'll send the staff to a Verdan worthy on a different plane. I can show you when we get there. There's a mural depicting your arrival.
And how far is that?
Well,
You hear that? A mural
it's-
depicting my
it's
arrival.
maybe half a day's travel, but it's through pretty heavy canopy. Just because the stars are out doesn't mean it pierces through all of that. We might encounter something along the way, but I can't do it on my own. But you're here.
That I am. Answer me one question, then. Probably more than one, but at least one. Probably more. Why are you and the others here?
Well, this is our home.
There's no way you were born here.
I was born here. And so were my parents, as far as I know, and their parents. This is where that which endures lives.
I don't live here, though.
Well, sure, Verdan can leave, just like any other race, if they have the ability.
Very strange. So how many of them are there? Of, well, us.
We were thriving before all this happened, maybe 200 or so, but there's only about a dozen of us left at this point, minus those who live by the world tree, but we haven't had contact with them in a month or at least.
Oh, that's so cool. Korvac, you were just at my home and back in Waterdeep, remember? It was under attack.
Yeah,
Yeah, where did you grow up at?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Are you surprised?
Where's your shield? Do you remember?
I didn't have it
Touche,
before.
got you there, tall grass.
Maybe you don't remember because you were born here. Sometimes when people travel through different planes, they don't remember things.
See, tall grass. I don't remember because I'm from a different plane than you.
Well, I mean, I guess we're just figuring that out.
At least that's what Stosh says. She's creepy, but she's the one that made these
Stosh.
runes and makes other enchanted goods.
What is Stosh? Who is Stosh?
Well, she's
like
a
Stash.
goblin.
A
She's
goblin.
not a Verdan. She's a goblin. But she's nice. She lives in our village. Her kids went missing a while ago, though.
That's sad. You know, after 48 hours, they're probably dead. So how do we get to this village then? I want to see Korvac's family.
Well, we can go, but I think we should wait until the sun is down. The
I
moon is up.
agree. We should probably wait till that thing right there is not surrounding us.
Hey, Miss Sand, have you ever seen one of those jackal things die before?
Well, I haven't, but I know that they've been hunted. We fashioned some weapons from their parts back at the Final Solace that I'm sure they'd be willing to share or tell you how to make them. I'm not much of a weapon person myself. I stick to the shadows. I can turn invisible.
Whoa, can I see?
Well, I can only do it.
When no
Do
one's
you
looking.
just ask if you can see if he turns invisible?
Yeah.
This is why you're not the captain.
Why are you still here if you can turn invisible?
Well, I can only do it once and it doesn't last very long.
I can only do it when no one's looking.
How long does it last?
About a minute.
It's pretty long.
That's not
It's not long enough to get back to town. That's a half a day's travel.
San, do you have a name for this place?
Home.
Just home?
Well,
Does anyone call it something?
right now we're on the 30-mile stretch.
30-mile stretch as I kind of like look down at my leg.
And she motions in the direction towards the small town that you saw in the distance. And, well, the road goes 6 miles that way and about 24 that way. She points in the opposite direction. It's not a clever name. It's just...
And what about
Easy
the
to
town?
remember. What about
Does
it?
that have a name?
Well, it's called the Final Solace. We didn't used to live there. It's just been kind of set up. There's
Oh, cool. Of course, we never used
there's
to.
a
Of course, we didn't
ring of
used to live
stones protecting it, but it's about all of them we could get together before it got really bad.
there. How many stones are surrounding the circle right now?
Surrounding the circle, there's about 20.
I have an idea, guys.
Let's pick up the stones and move it somewhere
I
else.
was gonna say that. If we all carry at least 3 each,
Well,
3 in each hand.
the problem with the stones is they kind of enchant the ground around them. And when we pick them up, it'll break the circle, and it takes about 10 minutes to get it going again.
Yeah, Ryan, you can't just pick up the stones and move.
I'm sorry, guys.
Are there more places like spread out like this?
Well, no, they sent me out with a few other scouts. They have some stones on them, but they're probably back at the town by now.
What were you scouting?
We're scouting out all sorts of things. There's some titans that we're trying to keep some tabs on. She motions towards the direction of the forest where you hear the like thundering cracking of the trees still continuing, and
That's like weirdly normal for us.
we just kind of want to make sure that they stay away.
So you were scouting. Let me get this straight, because let me tell you, I was kind of listening, kind of not. So we're home now.
Trying to tell if that was Korvac or Kyle. No.
We're one of the same. You said the thunder is the Titans.
Well, it's not really thunder, it's just large trees being...
Oh, so they're like walking along and knocking over trees, and it sounds big and boomy.
Breaking them over, making pathways. It makes their travel easier.
And so they come around often, or are they trying to stay away? Or are you just scouting to see if they're coming closer?
Well, they don't appear to be bothering the village. I still have hopes that they're still some sort of semblance of what they used to be, but...
And what did they used to be? Refresh my excellent memory.
They used to be our protectors and thwart outside
I
threats.
used to have Titans as protectors, guys.
Did they stop being protectors around the time the sun stopped coming up?
Something affected them.
But do those two things line up?
When we encountered them afterwards, we sought their help, and the parties that we sent were slaughtered.
If we ran from here, how long would it take to get to your town?
It's only about six miles.
I mean, I can summon a magical steed, but that might only fit maybe 2 of us.
How fast does it move?
Well, that sounds helpful.
Pretty fast.
How
as fast as
many
a
of-
warhorse.
Well,
How many
they're
of these
fast,
steeds
so-
can you summon?
There's only one, really.
I can also, like, I don't know, turn into like a big owl or something and shuttle a person or two.
Well, if we can do that, maybe we can get there tonight. Just so you all know, though, I'm not much of a fighter.
You're a singer.
I'm a scout.
Well, don't worry about that. We can handle the fighting.
Mr. Tallgrass, you said you can summon a steed of sorts.
Yeah, you've seen it. Oh, actually, maybe you were dead
I'm
at the
pretty
time.
sure I'd remember if I've
you
seen
were,
it.
I summoned him last time when we were around your
Yeah,
grave.
anyways, he could summon a steed, yeah.
It's like a ram.
Is that a long process?
No more than a good story, you know?
I mean, I know it seems like there's a big rush, but we've kind of adjusted to this, and we're safe here.
Well, that sounds nice.
I don't really want to be stuck in this circle, though.
Same.
We came here for a reason. To find the shield.
That's a reason.
What kind of shield?
The reason might not be.
The shield of Faringal. Ever heard of it?
Well, I think a guy came here with a shield just like that. A little before all this happened.
Oh, great. Now you got his hopes up.
Well, that's worth checking out. Which way do you go?
Well, he was a nice guy, though.
Yeah,
It seemed like it was his shield.
that's fine.
Why is it your shield?
That's part of my oath to find it.
Was he a dwarf?
Yeah, that's actually a good question.
No.
Was he a dwarf? No.
He was
No?
he was tall. I don't know what his name was, but
What did he look like?
well, he was tall. He looked kind of like a dwarf, I guess, but taller and
So, like a human.
lankier. Maybe, I'm not sure what a human is, but
They're skinny punks.
They are.
They don't usually drink very well.
well, anyway, he had a really cool sword in one hand. It was all golden glowing.
Yeah,
and then,
okay. Which way did he go?
Well, he went into town. He just came around. He seemed to be helping people out with whatever they needed, and he gave everybody these coins. They're back at the town. You can find them at Stish. Stish has the collection of the coins. They have this emblem on them, and she turns the thing she was embroidering, that sideways infinity symbol with the arrow. She turns that in your direction.
You said Stish or Stosh?
Stish.
How long ago was that?
Well, that was a little bit before all of this happened.
How little bit before it happened?
A couple of days, but
Well, that's weird.
it definitely is. We haven't been able to find him since then, but like I said, he seemed nice enough.
Humans.
Yeah, well,
yeah, they
I'm
all
sure.
seem nice.
We'll find him. We'll definitely find him, right?
Yeah, I'll track him down.
We'll find him.
Punch his beard off.
Definitely.
If he has one.
Gotta take that shield.
I gotta say,
sure
his sword is a lot cooler.
I'm not here for a sword.
Did it look like description of Holy Avenger?
What do you describe?
The Holy Avenger's sword that he wanted.
I mean, it was long and it was kind of glowing goldish.
Dibs when we get him.
That's
Dibs.
cool.
With this Verdan looking at you, holding the glaive. I've never seen the glaive in person.
Oh, there you go.
He does autographs.
Do you want to touch it?
The staff that birthed our race. You have it. Isn't that cool?
What?
Really?
Does it have a name?
Well, the staff doesn't have a name. It's held by the creature that birthed us, that which endures, but
I did not birth anyone.
Korvac.
no, you didn't. The staff did.
Mommy Korvac.
You just said it was held by the one that birthed us.
Well, other Verdan have
He just
held
got a
it.
new title. Mother of Verdan.
Captain Korvac, the Undying Messiah, and Father.
Taken all the way here from the Underdark.
How did you know we were in the Underdark?
Well, no, that's where the staff came from.
But you did say when we got here, like, you thought we were visions or something, which is kind of weird.
Well,
'cause
look, I've been here for like a month all by myself in front of this campfire eating bugs. I'm just delusional.
Good point, you know? I wish I brought you some slop. It was okay.
Well, since we're waiting, do you have any cool tales to share? She gets excited looking in your direction, Korvac. A well-seasoned Verdan. There's not very many of us as big as you. As tall.
Now that's a good tale.
I kind of puff my chest out a little bit, like, I guess I've never seen one like me either. Except that one time when I was in that inn and I saw this mirror. As a matter of fact, I do have a bit of a story. Everyone gather around. My compatriots here might be in this one.
Are you giving an inspiring speech?
I sure am. So there I was.
Dead.
Let's start
Dead
at
on
the
the
beginning. Then we just post the last 13 episodes.
It all started when we went down into this well. Down, deeper and deeper.
What was in the well?
So many things, young one. So I died, I came back, I got this leg, pretty much sucks. But I'd make do.
Mr.
We got
Mr.
this.
Korvac? I don't mean...
Captain Korvac.
Captain Korvac, I don't mean to interrupt your story, but you mentioned your leg. There's a lady in town, she collects legs. Maybe you could find a new one.
What? Korvac for real?
You know what? I'm going to remember that one. I don't mean to be rude, but don't ever interrupt my speech
No,
again.
I understand. I'd be really mad too.
Oh, you could get like a big old leg
You get a big old leg.
and have one tiny little regular leg.
That sounds inefficient. I
Yeah,
died.
you can continue, but because you want to.
I paused for a moment.
You can tell there's just like very genuine reactions to
Maven's
you.
pacing, ready to leave.
Sure.
And probably with Talgroff also.
Korvac, you changed... Captain Korvac, sorry. You changed the colors of the fire. Can you make it silver like it is in your tapestry?
I'll snap my fingers.
Wait,
and, it'll be silver.
wait a minute. You're saying that...
It's okay, it's silver. It's silver. You guys get 16 temp HP.
Does she as well?
Yeah.
Fine.
Are you saying there's another tapestry of Korvac?
Well, the tapestry mural, it's the same thing. It's a big tapestry, but it's kind of eaten into the wall. It's hard to explain.
I've had many murals of this phenomenal person to make murals about.
This one doesn't show
Yeah.
him, but it shows
It's me.
a Verdan with the staff.
There's
What
me.
else could it be?
Verdan, staff,
This
Verdan.
is cool. Someone should write a book about you.
I think I know a guy.
Huh.
And now looking at the fire that's now like this silvered color reflecting out in the nearby vicinity, it's like we're in the tapestry. This is so cool.
Yeah, we are a tapestry, a living prophecy that I am.
Talgroff, you ready to go?
I don't even know what he's talking about anymore.
I'm sure you feel great that I told you, though.
All right, here's the plan. I'm going to start walking. I'm going to be a beacon of light. You are going to start ferrying people, and we're going to be walking closer as you're ferrying.
So hold on, Orion, you pull out your spell components.
I was gonna wait.
Very excited.
Yeah, and then while getting ready, I go, wait, Talgroff, doesn't it take way longer to get your steed?
Yeah, but it's like 10 minutes. We've been listening to Korvac for 10 minutes, so...
So do you have your steed?
Sure.
I cast polymorph on San. I turn her into a giant owl.
Okay. She stands there for a second and then turns her head around and goes, hoo hoo.
I hop on.
She kind of looks around the campfire and starts clicking the stones. She starts pecking them. Picks one up with her beak.
I'm gonna.
boy.
I'll start collecting them and put them in my bag.
And as she picks up one, you hear the snarling from the edges of the forest as these creatures are immediately going to start moving in. We'll say you pick up one, she picks up one, so there's 18 remaining. All right, Korvac, you are up first. As you snatch up one of the stones, you look up and immediately hear the snarling and see one of these creatures getting down to the ground and quickly making its way straight out of the brush. You're about 50 feet away from it, and you know these things are fast.
I'm going to first bonus action cast my illusions on that side of me.
Okay, almost make like a barrier with three Korvacs. Yeah, 3 Korvacs appear and almost like coward waiting to take the hit. But perfect illusions that mimic Korvac. And looking back, you can see San looks around at all the runes and then just shakes her owl head and goes out to flap her wings like, hop on. All right, Talgroff. You summon your ram before all of this goes down, kind of sitting ready atop it.
Yep. Ivan, let's go. And I'll reach out my hand to have him jump onto my ram with me.
Okay, cool. You do so, and Maven, you hop on, I assume?
Yeah.
And you guys start booking it out of here.
I will get on and then ready a Sacred Flame if I see one of them.
Okay, yeah, you can totally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just do it when we get to your turn. So you guys start booking your way down the road, the ram taking off. From the edges of the trees, you can see these jackal-like creatures, but you can also see these strange-looking humanoids with almost, think Medusa-like hair, but it's all these octopus tentacles that move around. And they're peering out from the brush, and you can see one standing on the road about 200 feet in front of you. It's Sand's turn, so she is going to, with a heavy brush of her wing, she's going to launch off the ground, and Korvac, this big owl, is gonna try and grab onto you if you'll let her.
Yeah, I think
She wants to woo you.
funny enough, I think I would just not notice it as I'm like wincing, like kind of roll back and like focusing on my illusions to see if they like distract the thing, and then kind of get picked up, and then like a second later, like, oh,
Sure. Yeah. As you're getting swooped up and you all start flying away, you see your illusions just being mauled by these creatures. And you do watch as one of these humanoid-like creatures steps out from the tree line, and it's all these tentacles around its head begin pointing in the direction of one of your illusions before this like shimmering energy comes from it, and your illusion just like pops. Orion, you're on Sand's back. She's an owl taking flight.
Hiya! And I kick my heels into her side to try to get her to speed off faster.
Yeah. You start flying, and as you're getting higher, it's kind of terrifying at this point because it is pitch black. There's not a star out. There's no moon. There's zero source of light as you're flying. So you're not seeing amazingly.
So it's like Qzar.
You are seeing, think like you're trying to drive. Yeah, it's like you're trying to drive with like an infrared camera. That's like
Okay.
be awful.
Yeah.
That's like kind of what you're trying to do. So you're not seeing incredibly clearly.
I would also like to cast light on my loot.
Okay.
And then maybe be like a flying beacon in the air for Talgraf's steed to follow us.
You cast light, and as you do so, now being up in the sky, you can see these small tendrils just moving through the air slowly. These smoky essence that seems to completely encompass the sky
do I see this?
that you're currently flying through. Yeah, you make it out as he casts his light.
Does your steed emit light at all?
So like there's a mercurial, like silvery, like light essence as it steps, but it's more like underglow than like actual light.
It's like neon lights and underground.
Maven, you're riding on the back of Talgraf's steed. As you take off away from the silver fire that was the campsite you were all at, you are swallowed by darkness. You can see borderline nothing everywhere around you.
I'm going to take out the spawn of Kelmore, and I'm going to like move my hand above it. In the name of the monolith, cord, and the holy weapon, I'm just going to cast holy weapon, and that'll emit very bright light up to 30 feet around it.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, and it's dim for like 15 feet more? Because that's actually important right now.
The weapon emits bright light in 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30.
Cool. Very cool. So you strike your holy
You got a
weapon.
lightsaber right now.
Yeah, that's dope.
You strike your weapon, and now you get a decent look at the jackals that some of them are chasing alongside you, but what you immediately make out looking at them, they're not flinching by this, and you can tell that they do not have eyes. There are no eyes on their face. There's nothing that's there to absorb light, and they don't seem to be reacting to the radiant energy. However, you can see a little bit.
Okay. Jesus.
Talgroth, can you please roll a wisdom save for your steed?
Oh yeah, okay. 4.
4, that is a failure. So your steed is going to take 11 points of psychic damage.
All right, noted.
Okay. It's still up though?
Yep.
Cool. As you continue sprinting forward, some sort of psychic presence definitely interferes with your steed, but seeing these creatures off to the side, they definitely resemble the Illithid you've encountered previously, but they appear almost undead.
Huh, interesting.
That's really not good.
Sans go. She's going to dip down, being up in this darkness. She's going to fly just above the treetops now, and she's keeping pace with Maven and Talgroth. You can tell she doesn't like being up in the darkness. She wants to try and help you guys as best you can. So there's about 30 feet of separation vertically between Maven and Talgroth and the rest of the group as this owl is flying. The jackals, one of them, Maven, one attack is going to come against you.
Okay.
Maven, that is a 22 to hit.
That hits.
And I need you to make a strength save as well.
That's going to be a dirty 20.
That is going to save. You're going to take 11 points of piercing damage. That's it for its turn. As one of these creatures, it jumps over the top of the steed, tries to gore you with its horn and rip you off the steed, but it rips just through the side of your skin, giving you a pretty big tear in your skin, but it's not able to pierce through you in a way that it's able to pull you off the steed, but it's definitely what it tried to do as it's running out of the forest.
Do I get an off attack as it leaves me?
Sure, you can.
That's going to be a 24.
Yeah, it's
going to be 20 damage.
cool. Yeah, you slice across this creature as it's coming towards you. You each nick each other, and it runs off into the forest.
Gets pushed back 10 feet, too.
Okay, yeah, it goes kind of flying. Its legs, its back legs kick up over its head as it's flying across. But not only do you get the sense that these creatures are intelligent, you get the sense that they're communicating through a hive mind. Okay. As not only are these creatures following you from behind, the creatures up ahead are timing their attacks with your arrival. Orion, here you go.
Do I see any creatures or something like pursuing Talgroth and Maven on the steed?
You definitely do. You see two flanking directly behind. You get the feeling that they could go faster if they wanted, but they're holding off.
Huh, that's weird. If I'm within 120 feet, I think I'd like to fire a firebolt at them to see if that slows them or scares them off.
Yeah, roll it. Make an attack roll.
That is a 22 to hit.
22, it definitely hits.
A total of 14 fire damage.
And as you observe it get hit by this, it strikes the side of it and definitely sears some of its flesh. You don't feel like it did an extra amount of anything. It appears to be pretty okay.
Okay. And then while my loot's out, because I just sent that firebolt, I would like to cast Bardic Inspiration on San as an owl. It's San. You don't have to be a big old bird. It's San. You can make it to final solace. that's my Bardic Inspiration. I had like half a round of a combat to find a song. Anyway.
You feel the thrumming of a humming owl as she sings along to one of her favorite tunes.
I knew she was a singer.
I'm going to see them running through. I hope this works. So this was said before. If you put daylight on an object, it'll go with it. So I'm just going to put that on my sword.
Cool. You cast daylight on your sword, and a huge beam of light extends out. It's blinding to you for a moment. I'm going to make someone make a save.
Who?
You see a figure standing.
I vaporized sand.
as you cast this daylight and it extends a huge pillar of light out from you, the jackals near you scatter out to the sides as you hear like a sizzling burning sound from them. And a figure in front of you, you see him reaching into a pouch standing in the middle of the road, and he's reaching out and scattering this clear dust across the road. And he is completely blinded and caught off guard by it as he holds up his hands, and you guys plow through him, the ram smashing into the character and knocking him to the ground as he is unable to get off his wall of force.
Oh, that would have sucked!
As you continue charging down the road, and now these creatures are taking a wide enough berth, you currently can't hear them and can't see them on the edges of you. You're not sure if they've abandoned you, if they're just further out and waiting it to kind of condense back to normal or what, but okay. These creatures have momentarily subsided.
I'm just going to hold my sword up as we're riding.
Okay. Oh, okay.
To Gondor!
How fast can your steed go, Talgroth?
60 feet.
About 130
That's a total
feet.
guess.
60.
60 is his movement,
Yeah.
so he can do, okay, cool, so you can do 120 dashing.
Yeah.
So these creatures, though fast, are not that fast, and you are able to outpace them outrun them. The owl's able to keep up with you as well. As you all make your way in the direction of the city, now some time passes. Nothing else encounters you on the road. Nothing else is waiting for you. It seems that your daylight spell has done it. How long does daylight last for?
An hour.
So it lasts the remainder of your journey.
What is coming right now?
It lasts the remainder of your journey, and you can definitely see that there's one guard only stationed outside the city, and as you're approaching, he has his hand up to his face, and it's just like obviously blinded by this.
We've come.
All of us.
San is going to swoop down and land down in front and then start hooting and clucking, like moving around.
I love a clucking owl.
That's a cue.
In Orion's direction. I don't know, whatever owls do.
To drop it.
Hoot! Hoot!
I kind of like her as an
Okay,
owl.
well, let's keep her as an owl then.
It lasts an hour.
Does she land?
She lands down at the bottom of the gate, which you can see this is a disheveled ruin of what was once maybe a nice castle. The interior of which you can see that there is a collapsed center keep that is very obviously not being used. They're using the courtyard as their kind of living space. There's tents popped up around. And you can also make out these stones. These ones are much larger, and they appear to line the side of the walls with these same runic markings. Now, much larger, much more elegant in the way that they've been carved into here. You imagine it took the majority of the past month to get these done. But the guard holds up a hand and, who are all you with?
I'll land
With her.
just before the owl does. I'm assuming it's going to let me go. And I'll turn around and just hold my glaive.
I'd like to provide an announcement underscore as Korvac comes into view with this staff. Now arriving, Korvac, the Undying Messiah,
Captain, it's Captain Corbin.
the Captain Mother Korvac.
The the figure starts shambling in your direction, stopping at the edge of the stones, and you can make out as he gets closer, his left shoulder is definitely significantly lower than his right, and he appears to have a massive scar rolling up the side of his face. You imagine it goes down to his arm as well, which you can see his left arm is not moving as he's walking at all, and his right arm barely has any movement left, and he sees you, Korvac, approaching with the glaive, and it's you.
Is this another Verdan?
Another Verdan, yes. This one appears to be a brighter purple-skinned Verdan. Smaller.
Two in one
I'm going to
day.
hold the light behind Korvac so it's like his silhouette is just shining
Sure.
throughout the whole city.
Come in. If you can cross the stones, you may enter.
I'm going to walk as confidently as I can.
Sure.
Chest out, head held high.
You cross, and the look of shock is quickly turning into a look of overjoyed. You've really made it. I've got to admit, I lost hope. I think most of us did. What do you need? What can we do? Come into our city. And he starts hurriedly, happily making his way in now. And he's gesturing to a few people as he does and pointing in your direction. All these Verdan characters are looking out in your direction, Korvac. None of which you see are taller. They're all smaller Verdan of varying colors from bright reds to dull grays. There's not a lot of them here, but the small group that's here seems amazed to see you. The name's Rate. Apparently, welcomer of heroes. Well, do you have what you need to end all this? Sure hope you do.
And or what?
The emotions above and, bring the sun back and, I don't know. I guess that's it.
I mean, like that, as I point over towards Maven.
Yeah, I mean, none of us have seen the sun in so long. It's a little blinding, but welcoming.
Well, don't look directly at
You'll
it.
get used to it.
You're able to pass the barrier. Welcome to what we have here. If you don't mind me asking, what are you?
I'm a halfling.
Halfling.
Yeah, I'm like half of a normal ling, but,
What's a normalling?
like two of me,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
Yeah, and we're dwarfs. My name is Talgroff. This is Maven.
Your
This is
accent.
this is my
Well, that's his accent.
Oh, it's not a dwarf thing.
no, not really.
Nah, he's a dwarf. I'm a monolith.
Our accents aren't Verdan things either.
Yeah, well, I'm,
You get
well,
used to
I'm from
it.
a different region, but that's not really the point.
No, you obviously have official business, I guess. I mean, we don't really have a leader. My name's Rate. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
So, we would all really appreciate it, Verdan Hero, if you could turn this off now.
Yeah.
And other figures around there, all the other Verdans are kind of nodding, like, mm-hmm.
You have no leader type at all.
I mean, it's not the Verdan way. We've never really had leaders.
You guys don't have a captain?
You guys need a captain.
No, we usually work in individual sects. We're each leaders and of our own, strengths, our own craftsmanships.
And that's been working well.
And not since this happened, but it kind of struck us by surprise.
We're very adaptable type.
I guess we used to have a leader, but she hasn't been able to communicate with us in a while.
And who is she?
She would be that which endures. A woman in Yggdrasil. We don't, go and talk to her, but she communicates with us in our mind. I'm sure you've heard her talk. Warns us of incoming danger, things of that nature.
Of course I've heard that. Everyone's heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, totally.
He's of course.
It's been kind of, it's been silent here for a while.
Dark, too.
What have you guys been eating?
Well, gather what rations we can from the life that still exists. You can still find an occasional mangy squirrel, things that live in the ground. Got a few plots of earth back here that we've been trying to keep fertile, keeping the worms alive and breeding.
How many of them are there?
You look around and you see less than a dozen standing around here, and there doesn't appear to be anybody else
All
making
this
their
There's
way.
about one ship crew.
I'm going to start just passing out rations to them.
Sure. Everybody that you pass a ration to is overjoyed. You can see that there are a number of stalls set up around, the vast majority of which look untouched, uninhabited for an unknown amount of time. Some of them are more disheveled than others, but you can definitely see that there's a few that are up. There's no sort of exchange of goods going on. There's more of like a, if you need something, come, I'll give it to you, and you owe me in return. That's just survival at this point. I hate to be, pestering you, but can you turn this off?
It's a process.
Great. I'm glad to know you've started working on it.
Yes.
We also need more info to actually fully turn it on.
And supplies.
You see Verdan making her way from around the back of the crumpled keep in the center. She appears far more heavily armored. And as she's making her way up, she looks at you, Korvac, and looks at everything that's going on. It's true. It's you.
Yeah. Me.
I'm Kevlin. We have information to discuss. I assume you're in need of it. To end this,
Of course.
put a stop to it.
Yes, please lead the way.
I'm glad you're filled in that far.
Yes. What was your name again?
Kevlin.
Kevlin. Okay, lead the way, Kevlin.
Sorry, I'm kind of taken aback right now. I didn't actually think you were coming.
That makes two of us.
She turns and starts walking, and our numbers had dwindled so much I kind of just assumed, the tapestry wouldn't be fulfilled, but I guess it might be now.
Well, I am quite filling of tapestries.
Wonderful.
Well said.
Well, things you may need to know. Let me show you the tapestry, yes?
Please, I'd love to see this mural of me.
I wonder if it's going to be as good as the picture in his captain's quarters, Maven,
She leads you around the backside of the collapsed, ruined keep, where you see, strung along the backside, is a fairly ruined and tattered large tapestry, in the center of which is a large tree. This tree is peppered with all of these black veins that run up and down it, and there's an opening inside of the tree with a pathway leading from it. Inside of the tree, you can see a woman, roots wrapped around her, and a staff dropped at her side. To the side of this, you can see a Verdan holding a staff, sat around a campfire-colored silver. Appears to be sitting on a shore of sorts, looking out into the ocean, where you can see a large stone tower peeking out of it. And around him is this surrounding darkness that is put off from this sphere of protection, being put off by this loot laying at his side. The tapestry continues to the right, and you see it's now torn into two. The top of the tapestry continues with the Verdan holding the staff, walking inside of the tree, this large tree, holding something in his other hand that appears to be cracked and glowing with some sort of energy. And on top of the tree, the only difference between Yggdrasil in this version and the more central version of the tree is that this one has a single flower blooming on it. The these black veins kind of dissipating from that area where life is being given back. The bottom half of this tapestry where it's torn is solid black. Nothing else exists there. No outline of anything, no silhouettes, just complete darkness. It very much depicts itself as two outcomes.
So I'm sorry, is there an actual Verdan?
It does not look like Korvac necessarily. It looks like
He's got both its legs.
He has both of his legs. He is wearing a long trench coat and he has goblinoid ears. He definitely resembles a tall Verdan, and he is holding a staff that very much replicates.
And you said there was a tower in the back?
With Korvac sitting on, or this Verdan sitting on the beach.
He just replayed our season 2.
Way out in the ocean, there seems to be a large stone tower built far out to sea.
While Kevlin's showing us, I go, "Whoa, cool! Look, there's me and Maven. Look, Maven, you're the tower thing, and look, there's me."
She looks at you, kind of confused, and
who did this?
Not sure how you're in this drawing, but
right there, look, a loot. It's shining. I have a loot. It's still shining.
I don't see me on there. Where's
many Verdan play loots.
Yeah, but see, this exact moment actually happened to us. You see, there was encroaching darkness, and then this youngling, halfling, played his lute, shined his light, and made the darkness go away.
I suppose it brings more validity. Kevlim turns to the small crowd of Verdan behind all of you, and do you mind if I speak with you in private? Your group can come as well, but without them. You can see that there is a large owl still in the crowd, looking around. A lot of the Verdan are giving it very sideways looks, but could we get to a private spot? I have a place. There's one room remaining in this kind of collapsed area behind me. We could at least shut a door.
Sure.
She starts making her way for anyone who will follow.
I'm going to be right behind Korvac, and I'm going to cast guidance on him.
Okay.
Ooh. Got a chill in here.
She gets you into a room, and as you walk inside, it definitely has holes in the side of the walls. People could certainly be listening if they were snoopy enough, but Kevlim says to you, it's not that I don't trust my people, it's that I can't trust anybody right now, and I would just want to share this information with you. That which endures is dead, our scouts have reported. The mother of the Verdan is dead, and part of her being has been taken and scattered by a man who came through here.
A man?
Man, yes. He introduced himself as Illithir. He had
Illithir, like Illithid.
I'm not sure. There's a resemblance. He had a sword brighter than the sun, a shield darker than the night, and he seemed nice enough. He earned the favor of the mother, and I believe he's behind this, behind the darkness.
Now, why would someone with the sun as a sword and the dark as a shield want just the dark?
I honestly don't know, but our scouts have reported sights of something disturbing. These pieces taken from the mother have been implanted within the Titans that once protected.
In the Titans? They were planted in the Titans?
On them, in them.
And you said the scouts did this?
The scouts reported the sightings of these objects.
Okay, so did the scouts say who did this?
They keep an eye on the Titans. Our best bet is this Illithir, this man.
Did he have like a squiddly mouth?
No. He looks at you, Maven, and Talgroff and Orion. Kind of like all of you, but taller.
Like a human?
I'm
elf.
Not sure.
Half elf.
She doesn't know what that is.
Do you know where to find this Illithir? Or his last location?
If we did, that might solve our problems, but I don't know where he is. Our scouts believe that the objects implanted within the Titans are the same that supported the life of the mother and Yggdrasil. If they were to be retrieved...
Oh, perfect. So we just go kill a Titan, retrieve all the bits, bring those bits back, and everyone comes to life. No more dark.
Do we have to kill them, or do we just have to take them off?
I don't know.
Let's be honest, Maven. You want to kill a Titan? Maven, the Titan killer.
The Titans were once our protectors. If you can save them,
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. If we don't want to kill their protectors.
they once watched over the
You got a
mountains,
point.
the forest, the ground, and the sea. Now it seems they devour anything that enters.
So we get the bits off, they protect again. No more
Maybe.
darkness.
I don't know.
Now, when you say Titan, how big we talking?
Like Hercules Titan?
Well, the primeval roams the forest. He stands around 100 feet tall, maybe more.
Oh, it's only 100 feet.
I'm climbed taller than that.
It's like 20 times the size of any of us, except for him.
He was once a friendly giant, but now he appears to have taken on undead features.
Oh, aren't we good with undead?
He has a
Yeah, you don't die.
band of
I am the
jackals
Undying.
that follow him everywhere he
A
goes.
band of chapels?
Of jackals.
Jackals. Those like...
I'm sure
dog
you've
pups.
encountered them. If you've been here for more than an hour, you've encountered jackals.
Oh, we saw one or two.
The creature that lives beneath the ground. A large burrowing creature, a purple worm. Once kept outsiders off the roads, bandits and the like, and now he travels the roads and seeks any who travel them. Frostbitten Colossus lies to the north,
Man, this place sucks.
within the Shivering Peaks.
So we need to go to the Titans and figure out if we need to take something off of them or just flat out destroy them.
If you have to kill them to save the plane, then you have to kill them,
But
but
it sounds like your plane's screwed though if we don't.
I think our plane becomes like any other, with bandits and brigands on the roads instead of protected by Titans. If the Titans' fall saves our Verdan home, or if you find a way to get us all out of here, maybe we can find a home elsewhere.
Do you think they would want that?
Perhaps
Elsewhere?
Yggdrasil supports life outside of this plane. It supports life to the arcane across most planes, not all that I understand.
Yeah, but isn't Yggdrasil all wilty and not doing too great?
It is.
So
the mother
does it
who,
matter where you go if
the
there's
mother
no
who
Yggdrasil?
resided within is no more.
So where do you suggest to start?
The Titans are our scout's best bet. I don't know how much faith I put in that. These pieces that were taken from the mother, it would require another body to take its place, at the very least. And that's if all could be gathered and brought back to Yggdrasil. The Titans are larger than you can imagine. The one in the sea,
That's the one I'm worried about the least.
the great white shark, was once a protector of the waters.
So it seems like we just need to bring everything back to life.
If possible. If not, perhaps we leave and try to fight this from a different front, from a different plane. I imagine if this force is affecting Yggdrasil here, his influence is spreading across other planes. It must be.
I mean, we still got the sun up there, but
We were kind of getting a little bit of blowback.
so we can kill Titans or figure out how to bring them back to life.
None of you have actually been able to see one fully close enough, though, right? Like, there's no growth on it or anything on
League
it.
heads the scouts. He was the one who spotted the objects. We can have him come here. He should be back, hopefully later today.
Tell me more about this guy that showed up.
Ilithir.
Yeah.
Well, he showed up and he began spreading wealth among our people. We use gold here. It's quite valuable. And he began rewarding us for various efforts, going around and smelting down some of our coin, making it into these strange coins that resembled some... I'm unsure of what the symbol means, but it's become a symbol of hope to our people.
Is it this draw the infinity symbol with the line through it?
It is. You're familiar.
Well, I just saw it earlier.
Well, where?
Sans showed us.
Sand's alive.
Yeah, Sans the owl outside right now.
Is she okay?
Yeah.
She's totally fine. It'll wear off. Don't worry about it.
Thank you for finding Sand. We were worried she was dead.
Nope, no, it did it all.
That is the symbol. Its meaning we're unsure of. If you wanted to know more about the symbol, perhaps Stish, she would know more. She's a rather uptight goblin who lives with us. She's by no means a Verdan, but
Yeah. Okay.
I heard she's got things.
she's a practitioner of all things arcane. She has goods, components, knowledge.
So this Stish,
Stish.
this goblin, where might one find?
Well, she's within our encampment, actually.
I would love to meet her.
Absolutely. Just so you know, don't bring up her kids, please. She lost them recently, and she will get rather aggressive and angry.
Like they're dead or they're
You
missing.
probably couldn't just
We assume
shouldn't have to
they're dead.
tell us that.
Yeah,
we didn't
now
even
it's
know.
going to be really hard for me not to since you said something.
Well, she kind of likes to hint at it for people to bring it up and then gets angry when people do. She's an odd figure. I wouldn't hold too much weight with what she says. She's honest, but I would not trust her.
Oh well, I guess
It's like
it's
me.
lead the way.
I can lead you to her.
Please.
And she leaves the room, makes her way around the keep to the other side, where you can see that there is a lavishly decorated, very unkept tent, ripped and kind of torn to shreds at the edges. A number of items scattered across the counter, which those of you who are spellcasters immediately recognize these as some of the most valuable spell components you have ever seen.
So all of us.
Before we go in,
Yeah, I guess all of you are spellcasters.
before we go in, Orion, I've got a very specific task for you.
Steal everything.
Right here.
yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I need you to go to Sands
What?
and turn the whole hour thing off.
Done.
You do so, and
She was mid-flight.
you you hear
Done. I can do that from here.
whole person. You hear who
am I
just
now?
rapidly excited. She's no longer an owl, but still hooing from further down the plaza.
That's who.
Yeah, this is Stish's Goods. She's a recent addition from the Underdark. You see a goblinoid woman behind the counter with all sorts of ornate-looking, quote-unquote, objects kind of around her head, like innumerable beads all woven into this fancy headdress that even at first glance, to those of you who are unpracticed in kind of merchant arts, you can see that there are buttons woven into them, poorly remade and cracked pearls, things that are definitely not valuable. And why, hello, welcome to Stish's Goods.
I heard that you're a collector of goods.
I collect all sorts of goods, from components to various limbs and things of the sort.
What kind of limbs?
Legs, arms,
Why do you collect
a few
those?
heads. They're interesting.
maybe
You
they
never
sound
know when
important.
you might need one.
What? She has heads?
Is there anything wrong with these legs?
Well, no, they're limbs like your own that are still on your body.
If you're gonna get one, get a good one. Do you have a Goliath one?
No, that leg is big. A Goliath leg would be bigger than me.
Yeah, but it's so strong you'd only need the one.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool, you know. You could kick people with it and they just go flying.
You could just hop around everywhere you go.
What else do you got? We'll think about that.
Well, what is it that you're looking for? I have access to diamonds all the way up to 5,000 gold pieces in their value. I have this gem-encrusted bowl. That is something that interests you. And she motions to... You can see her counter has a number of nice-looking objects on it. You can see a large diamond on it, the biggest any of you have ever seen, that she just leaves right out in the open. Does any of that interest you?
No, but do you have any jade?
Any jade?
Yeah.
I'm sure I have jade. How much are you in need of?
Like 25 gold worth of like crushed jade.
She turns around. Yeah, I can get you that much. She turns around,
Awesome.
goes over. You see her reach into a bag and reach out, and you don't hear any clunking, anything like that. But she has in her hand a piece of jade that she puts over a pestle with a hammer, breaks off some of it, and then
Nice.
crushes it into powder over it. And 30 gold for the labor.
Okay, I put all of the money that I
To
have
crush it?
on the table.
She charged him 5 gold to crush it.
I put all of the money that I have on the table, and it's 5 gold and 5 electrum.
Hey, that electrum goes far depending on where you're at.
Well, son, I appreciate it, but I'll just take one of these. And she reaches out and takes one of your electrum pieces. You can keep the rest.
Sweet. What? Can I have a head too?
Well, what kind of head are you looking for?
Orion, why do you want a head?
What?
You know,
she
I
has
used to
some-
know little kids that played with other people's heads.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Did they look like me?
No.
What did they do with them?
Well, they did all sorts of things with them. Why are you asking so many questions?
Because I'm trying to figure out what to do with this head. I'll give you another electrum for one.
What kind of head are you looking for?
Like one with long hair.
Ryan, I don't think We need that.
Yeah, what if we do?
She starts ruffling around in a bag right next to the jade bag and long hair, and pulls out a head that is very decomposed and looking quite hurt.
It's put it back. It
She
smells.
slumps it down on the table and it kind of like out the side as just kind of the leftover decomposing gore kind of splatters across the table. And 1 electrum will get you this. The figure definitely has long hair, though it's kind of breaking off and clumping out in her hand.
All right.
You're kind of a psychopath, aren't you?
You take that.
What?
You're staying here.
I'll put it in my bag.
Yeah, we smell your bag.
Okay, fine. I won't take it. I slide 1 electron over to her. I would like to sleight of hand away from Korvac's eyes, the head into my bag.
Sure. Do a perception versus
That's a wisdom thing, right?
sleight of hand.
That's D4, right?
That's a wisdom thing.
Oh,
Right?
that was a bad one.
Yeah.
15, but
Oh no,
Minus 3?
12.
Fantastic.
I mean, do I see it? My passive perception is like 20.
If you want to, if it's a big deal to.
Whatever, I don't care.
Orion, you smoothly place the piece of electrum on the table, and the woman, you hear her snap her fingers beneath the counter, and the piece of electrum disappears from the top.
I look at Maven and I
And she
wink.
just leaves. She leaves the head on top of the counter, and you remind me of someone.
Who's that?
She turns her glare to the side, and we don't speak of who that is.
What does this dagger do?
Okay.
Or this change subjects?
If we don't, then
It's a
all right.
spell component, one needed for inner and outer planes, as that is the symbol of the abyss.
How much is that?
500 gold.
500 gold. Do you take adamantine arm blades?
That sounds pretty cool. You put them out on the counter, and she
Yeah.
looks them over. I could probably knock off 300 gold for those.
Well, yeah. We might have a tab here. What's like the biggest, baddest thing you got here?
What's that bowl do?
Well, that would be... She motions to the diamond off to the side. That would be this diamond over here.
I don't know. Not that.
The bowl, well, most things I sell are spell components. The bowl included. It's most commonly used in a hero's feast. Makes all of you eat really good, and then you get some cool stuff.
You know, I don't see any shields in here. It's kind of barren, you know.
I do not sell weaponry.
You're not supposed to talk about her kids, that she's barren, Talgra.
That's just
I'm far from barren.
Is it open right now? Are we outside?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the dead head he just bought and chuck it as far as I can while he's saying this.
Sure, you grab it and you throw it behind your shoulder. Well, not behind your
I don't
shoulder. You
really
just chuck
care.
it over
Yeah.
the side of the
Yeah,
wall.
never did. And like, oh my god, he's
You chuck it over the side of the wall and you hear a splat in the distance. Ryan, you see Maven do this.
Hey!
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll pay for the dagger for
200 gold.
Yeah, deal.
And she notably does not grab the dagger off the counter. She snaps her fingers again, and the illusion on the counter disappears. And she goes back
cool.
to a bag labeled components, just a small purse-sized bag. She reaches her whole arm inside and pulls out a very similar looking dagger and carries over to you and slaps it down on the counter.
Now that I've noticed that, can I inspect the rest of the room
You,
for
Korvac, as a
illusions?
master illusionist, knowing it's an illusion, you can see through them should you wish. And the rest of the goods on the counter, you can discern them as illusions.
You said you're an enchanter.
It's kind of my specialty.
Do you do any other kind of magic?
Enchantments, where I kind of make my money, though I can enchant things with illusions.
Have
and-
you seen something like this before? And I'll slap my leg up on the counter.
She looks at it and she holds up a monocle to her eye that like is one of those. Think like it like folds out into more and more lenses.
I know
And
what you're getting at.
She looks at it and, well, it looks to be a peg leg.
He doesn't like it when you talk about his peg leg.
No, he asked.
She doesn't like it when you talk about her kids.
No, I don't. My kids? Why are you talking about my kids? I haven't seen Ook for ages. And that's where we're going to call this session.
There we have it, the first episode of Season 3 of Verdan's Blight. If you're listening for the first time, make sure to check out our older arcs from this campaign titled The Dungeon of the Wacky Wizard and Into the Storm. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, and subscribe to these episodes. And of course, share them with all your friends. We'll see you next time on the Lazy Bardcast.
As a matter of fact, I do have a bit of a story. Everyone gather around. It all started when we went down into this well. Down, deeper and deeper.
What was in the well?
So many things, young one. Lots of shields, but not that one.
Well, why didn't you just take one of those shields?
Listen, calm down,
It's
calm
not the
down.
same.
We've gone through many adventures through the Underdark.
You were in the Underdark.
I've got the staff, don't I? Glaive,
How
whatever,
cool.
sword thing. We were there in the Underdark. We fought squidlings, little things I tend to call my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
They're squidlings, they wanted to eat your brains.
Ugh.
But they didn't happen to either one of us. You can check.
The
all
jackals here
still
just
in
want
there.
to eat your everything. Your brain is way grosser.
Yes, very gross. I fought one of our friends, killed them. He was not a good guy, though. Don't worry, I'm not bad.
Oh, well, good for you. That sounds like a hero's work.
Heroes work, yes. In fact, Maven and I here are the only ones left of our original party.
Wow.
Until I died. But, as you see, I am still here. No illusion. See, I'm a solid figure. These ones are, though, and I'll pop mine up. Illusion, not illusion.
See, parlor tricks.
Illusion,
It's
not
the
illusion.
It's the Verdan's best trait.
So I died. I came back. I got this leg. Pretty much sucks. But I'd make do. We found some play about someone's dad, Orion's dad. He was
Yeah.
really into shorts for some reason.
Mr. Korvac?
I don't mean to be rude, but don't ever interrupt my speech.
No,
again.
I understand. I'd be really mad too.
We made it past this play. We come back out of the Underdark to a war. Some battle is going on upstairs. Upstairs? In the non-Underdark. The Overdark. The
Yeah.
Overlight?
In the overlight.
The surface level, yes.
I like the overlight.
Me
The
too.
Overlight. You remember that one now.
I will.
We fought this battle. We pushed them back. We survived. We fought back this battle and saved the city. I got myself a ship. We've got lots of money.
You guys do?
A ship?
We got all kinds of money. We sailed the seas and we made it into this storm, a huge storm. But we survived. We pushed through with my captaining skills. And of course, the rest of my crew. He's great upside he's a good crow. And then we got to the eye of this storm. It's the safest spot if you ever run into a storm. You want to go right into the
Just
eye
run
of
to
it.
into it?
Into the storm, right into the storm.
That's a good survival skill to know. I'll remember that.
Yes, if you happen to be inside a storm, just find the middle.
So if you ever see a tornado, just don't run away.
I
Run.
said storm, not follow me. And we found this giant portal here. It's black and all dark and very creepy. We walked in here, and now we're here.
You guys are like real heroes.
Well, yeah.